I guess what I'm doing today isn't necessarily Halloween themed, but we'll keep the spirit of Halloween alive since it is Halloween today here in the United States. So for everybody else, good morning, good evening, welcome. So for the live demonstrations, I just want to give a quick little disclaimer. So these live demonstrations are more of an opportunity for me to get to know you, for you to ask questions, for us to have a good time wire wrapping together. These are not intended to be full-length tutorials. However, I do walk you guys through all the steps. I always try to share what I'm doing. I love if you're inspired by these creations and go off to make your own. If you do, please show me. I'd love to see what you guys make. Okay, so with all of that happiness aside, let's go ahead and do some wire wrapping, shall we? So I picked a new scenery for today. We're actually outside on my balcony. And my cats are already causing problems. Oh boy. Okay, so if you guys hear any sounds of nature, it's because we're outside. So to get started today, I will be wire wrapping some crystal points. And this is something that I've just kind of been playing around with this week. I thought these could make some cute stuffing stockers for Christmas. And they're pretty simple to make for beginners. So I thought this would be a good project for today. So I'm starting off with bare copper wire. I get all of my wire from riogrande.com. They're here in the US, but they do ship international. They're definitely who I recommend. I get all of my supplies through them. Today we're using 24 gauge round copper wire. Okay, so let me pull up a chair. There's a little bit of a glare today since I'm outside, so I will try to make sure that I'm checking your comments and that I'm trying to stay in focus, but if I get out of focus, you guys just let me know. Okay, so I am so terrible at measuring things. I just always eyeball it. I'd say you need about maybe 2 feet of wire. That's the good thing about bare copper wire is it's pretty cheap. I don't feel too guilty about taking more and having extra. I prefer that, so I'm just going to go ahead and unravel myself a good amount of wire. I'd say if you want to measure it out, I'd say at least 2 feet. It's kind of funny. Yesterday, me and my business partner, Heather, we did a demonstration and a class yesterday. And whereas I like to eyeball everything and I don't like to do exact measurements, she does. So it was kind of funny. She was like, no, we're getting the ruler. We're going to measure it out. So I had to measure things out yesterday. But anyways, go ahead and get yourself about 2 feet of round copper wire. That should be about enough. And of course, you guys, during the entire demonstration, please feel free to ask me questions. That's what I really love doing about these live sessions, is getting to interact with you guys. So if you have any questions, anything personal, like about me as an artist, about my brand, about running a small business, about life in general, just anything at all, please ask away. That's what makes these live sessions so much fun. Okay, so these are the 2 crystal points that I'm using today. These are both labradorites. One is a black lab, and one has a little bit more of a green tint to it. But the difference here is that one is center drilled, and one is top drilled. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways of doing this. One with a top drill and one with a center drill. So we're going to do the center drill first. I find that center drilled is actually a little bit easier. So once you've gone ahead and cut yourself some wire, all you need to do is put the bead through the middle. So wherever you find the middle of your wire, so I just like to match up the ends. Okay, I think this is in the middle. And now my cats are going to start hunting my wire ends. Yep, here they are. Okay, if the camera makes a tragic fall and things start crashing, you can blame my kittens. Hey, come on. Let's not wreak havoc today. Go find something else to play with. Thank you. Okay, so all I did was run, this is 24 gauge round copper wire, and I just put it through the center of this center drilled crystal point. So for this, and this is like a big piece of wire, so you just kind of have to play around with the wire a little bit. But for this, I'm actually going to twist the wire in 2 different directions. So one of them is going to go this way, the other's going to go this way, so that they're actually twisting around the stone in opposite directions. So you can just grab one and you can just make your twists. So this part is now purely stylistic. So you can decide how much of the crystal you cover up if you decide to stay really close to the center. So I do a couple wraps on that side, and then I start doing a couple wraps on this side. I'm going to keep it more towards the center and put the bulk of the wire kind of towards the center, and you can keep like squishing them together. But you kind of want to stop when you have about this much of the ends. So I'm going to give this one more wrap around. Okay. And now my two ends can meet. So this is what I have so far. So it's going to look like this, and I have my two ends meeting back up, and they're crossing, which we want. So just go ahead and have them cross each other, and we're just going to twist these to finish it off and make the bail now. So as far as the gemstone's concerned, right, this is holding the stone in place. Now we're just going to finish it off and make the bail. So just going to cross those over, grab them where they meet, and give the stone a couple twists. So you can see that's going to start the twisting process, and as we twist all the way up the length of the wire, this is going to become more stable. So now you're just going to twist away. So what are you guys all doing to celebrate your Halloween? Good morning, pretty people. Thank you for joining me. Oh my gosh, you guys have no idea what it means for you all to join me on your busy Sundays. I mean, I know we all have such busy lives. There's always something to do. In fact, today is one of my only Sundays that I'm available between now and Christmas. So during the holiday season, we do a lot of in-person events. We do a lot of vending at like craft fairs. And so this is the last weekend before craft fair season like kicks up into full gear. And I'm going to be working every Saturday and Sunday. I'm still going to try to do these live sessions as best as I can around my schedule. But just to warn you guys, like there might be less frequent between now and Christmas. But once the new year kicks in, I'll be going back to normal, like every Sunday. Oh, good, Corbin, making jewelry all day. I think that's the best way to spend Halloween, honestly. I'm such a homebody, like I'm not too eager to get out tonight, so I also just want to stay home and make jewelry. Sorry, plane passing overhead. Okay, so here's what I have. I've twisted the wire all the way up, and I cut off the ends so that they're just like perfectly nice and twisted the whole way. So now this is what my labradorite crystal point looks like. So when we make the bail, it's going to hang like this. So it's going to hang sideways because it was a center drilled. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and make the bail. Oh, so actually I bought these crystal points actually come from a local store called Bead World. Let me go ahead and tag them below because they have a wonderful online store. Bead World. Okay, I think I've tagged them correctly. So I think I tagged them correctly, but it should be Bead World on Instagram, and they have a wonderful online store. You guys should definitely check them out. Taking the time to take in the energy. Yes, I would like to do that too. I kind of want to spend a quiet night in like reflection, kind of use the energy of tonight to aid in some creativity. So we'll see what tonight brings. Okay, so now I'm going to make the bail. So you're going to grab your round nose pliers. And I usually put it towards the very back because I kind of want the bail to be big enough for a cord to fit through because I plan to string these on a cord. So you want to leave a little bit of room. This is where we're going to twist the wire. So the rest of the wire, you're going to fold it towards yourself and then all the way back. Okay, I just had one of my cats jump up onto the balcony ledge, which they're not allowed to do. So let me go grab them because they know they're being bad. Okay, guys. Quick intermission. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm so sorry about that, you guys. I told you, whenever I go live, my curious little kittens always cause trouble. Here, I'll show you guys a picture of them because they're so cute. They know they're cute. Okay, not that I'm biased or anything, but I think they're the cutest cats ever. They know they're cute. They're so spoiled, and they know that they can get away with like everything. And so they know when I'm distracted, they take advantage of it. So those are my two little kittens. Oh, one of them got cut off. Anyways, those are my little babies right there. They're the ones taking advantage of me being distracted right now, wreaking havoc outside. Okay, so by putting in, okay, where were we? Oh boy. Okay, so we just made the loop, right? So we put this in through the biggest part, we looped it so it comes through the back, and then you take it off, and now you have your nice little loop. Okay, so now we're going to switch tools. We're going to use the flat nose pliers now, and we're going to grip the loop all the way at where the two wires meet, just like that. And I'm actually going to switch hands at this point. So I'm going to switch hands. So now this is my wire end. The loop is in the pliers itself, and now I'm just going to wrap it around to make the bail. So you just grab one end, and we're just going to slowly wrap it around. And this is just going to secure everything and then give us a finished bail. Now, if I used more wire, I could have had some left over at this point and used it for decorations, but I only have like a little piece left, so I'm just going to finish that off. Just going to tuck that in. I have done this where maybe with more wire, so maybe I've used like 3 feet of wire or something, and I was able to have some left over to make like a little swirl or something. So that's an option. So if you guys want to use more than 2 feet of wire, then you guys can have some left over and do like little swirls or something at the end. Oh, thank you, thank you. Okay, so this, oh, happy Halloween, yes. Okay, so this labradorite seems to be done. It has the bail, everything's in place. The stone is definitely not moving anywhere. None of these should come undone. So, ta-da! And I plan to use these as like stocking stuffers for my family and friends for this Halloween, oh my gosh, for this Christmas. So all I'm going to do now is put this on a cord, and there we go. My own crystal point necklace. Thank you. So this is if I have a center drilled. So the next one I'm going to show you now is this black labradorite that I have, and I'm going to show you how to do with top drilled. So that's my design for center drilled, and then I'm going to do the design for top drilled. I am tripping on my words. Okay, so we're going to use the same wire again. And when I was experimenting with these and making a bunch of them for myself, I tried 22 gauge and 24 gauge wire, and I found that 22 totally works, but 24 is just a little easier to work with, and I never work with 24, so for me personally, I thought I should get some use out of this wire, so that's why I went with 24, but 22 gauge works just as fine. So again, I like to get all my wire from riogrande.com. They have an Instagram. They are here in the United States, but they ship internationally, so I get all my wire from them. And then this is bare copper wire, and this is 24 gauge round. So again, you can take a good amount. I never measure. It was funny, yesterday Heather was, my business partner Heather and I were teaching a class yesterday, and she was like, you have to measure it out, you have to measure it out. So she got the ruler and we measured it out, but I get so, I don't know if you want to call it lazy. I just eyeball it. How about that? I like to eyeball it. So if you want to measure out like 2 feet, I'd say 2 feet's the minimum, but you can definitely take more than 2 feet. So I'm just going to cut myself off a piece. Okay, I think I have enough. And like we just saw in the last one, if I had used more wire, I could have had some left over to do like designs or something. So that's why, especially with copper wire, like copper is pretty affordable. So I don't feel guilty about taking more and having like cutting off extra. Okay, so here we go, my piece of copper wire. So just like the previous crystal, I'm going to take this one and just feed it through the wire. Now, I'm not putting this one in the center. I'm actually only going to put it in and leave a very small end. I'd say I'm going to leave about, I don't know, 3 inches or something. So just leave yourself a little piece. And what you're actually going to do at this point is just fold it over and have the 2 wires cross where the tip is, just like that. So the top point is a little trickier than the center one. So the center one I'd say is very much beginner friendly. This one's a little trickier just because you have to kind of wrestle with the wire a little more. It's going to want to keep sliding off the points. So you just have to keep it in place. Okay, so I'm just going to cross the wires. I'm going to grab where they cross and I'm going to give it a couple twists. This is where I found that the point wants to slide out of there. So just keep the pressure so that the wires don't slide off the crystal point. So I gave it a couple of wraps. I'm going to give it a couple more. We're basically forming the bail first on this guy, and then we're going to go back and do the wraps around the stone. Okay, so I think that's enough for my bail. So now I'm going to get my cutters and I'm just going to cut off the extra end. There we go. And if you want to make sure you don't have any poking, you can use the flat nose pliers to kind of smash that down and make sure nothing pokes. Okay, so we want to make sure it stays on the point. That's why I'm always going to keep my finger there. Okay, so now we're going to make the bail part. So with my round nose pliers, like before, right at the top, so I'm going to go right to the top where we cut off the twisted wire, towards the back of the pliers so I get a nice big bail. I'm going to take my wire, and this time I have a lot longer wire, but I'm going to take it, pull it towards me, and then move it towards the back. Now I'm going to do this twice. So I'm actually going to move, this part's a little tricky, I'm going to move the pliers and I'm going to finish going around. So you can see I'm just kind of finishing this, making a full circle. And then I'm just going to reposition my pliers, come back, and there we go. Okay, that way that gives my bail a little bit more stability because the wires went around twice. So I'm just going to make sure this is nice and tight. And of course, you guys, feel free to ask me questions, like any questions you have. I love answering the questions, especially questions about myself, about my business, about wire wrapping, anything that you want. Okay, so see how it's a little higher? I wanted the loops to kind of line up with where the twisted wire is, so that's not a problem. I'm just going to twist these down a little. Okay, I kind of like the position of that better. Okay, so now with my flat nose pliers, like in the previous one, we're going to grab where the wires meet. And with my hand this time, because the wire is just a little longer, I'm going to take it and make a couple wraps. And also move down the wire so I get closer to the crystal point. Okay. At this point, we can make our bail look a little nicer. You can put it back on here to shape it again. Kind of line it up the way you want. There we go. Okay. So that's the part that the cord is going to go through. Okay, so now to make the design. So this is kind of like a brooch as well, where we're just going to wrap the wire down the side and then come back up to tie it off. Oh my gosh, Amy. Okay, so this would be Amy. This would be my little fluff nugget causing trouble. Come on. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. That's life with cats. Like, my kittens are so attached to me. They literally follow me around everywhere. I mean, I love them. They're my babies. Like, I mean, if you guys have any fur babies, like, please let me know about it. Like, you guys can relate. But they think they belong in, like, they think they're part of everything I do. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and wrap. Sorry for the interruption, you guys. Oh my gosh. Especially people who are going to watch this recording later are going to be like, But I know, my poor little fur babies. Like I said, they really do think they're part of everything. So, and sometimes it's hard to say no to them. Okay, so now I'm just wrapping it around. So I came down a couple times And this is all just style preference. You can decide exactly how thick you want to make it, where you want the swirls to be. So I just kind of like the messy look. So I'm just going to go crazy here. I'm just going to wrap it around. We're going to have a chance later to adjust it, right? So you can fix it later with some pliers if you don't like it. You can scrunch it up a little bit, things like that. Copper is also very forgiving. Then once I have a little left, I'm going to go back up through the top and kind of twist it around. And then once I have a little piece left that I can't twist my fingers, I'm just going to get my pliers and push them down. Nice. So there we go. In theory, this is all that it takes. So now it's just up to you how you want to clean it up. So it's obviously very messy. This is more of a very rugged, messy look. So there's nothing refined about this. You can try to make it very clean. You can kind of do whatever you want. You could add accent stones to the wires, anything you want really. So take this as like a starting point and take it where you'd like. So I kind of like this as my front, so I'm going to just position my bail so that it sits like this. So there we go. All done. And like I said, I think I'm going to be using these as stocking stuffers for friends and family this Christmas. I think this is a great little, like, cute little homemade gift. You could even turn these into ornaments if you want. If you're gifting these to someone who's not a jewelry person, you can make them like ornaments or something. But there we go. My two labradorites, center drilled and top drilled. Which one do you guys like more? I personally kind of like the center drilled a little more. And you guys can make like your bail shorter, like just have fun with it. Try it out. The cool thing about this is most craft stores are going to have like wire. You don't have to use copper. You guys can use any craft wire. 24 gauge is easy to get at like hobby stores. So this is definitely a cool, fun little project. You could even do these with kids. So there you go, you guys. So which one do we think's better? I like the center drilled. What do we think? Top drilled or center drilled? Okay, you guys, so thank you so much for coming to my live session today. Today's going to be a little bit of a shorter live session. I have a bunch of errands to run, some Halloween prep to do, and then I just want to have everything ready to have like a nice quiet night. So, oh, I like the center drilled. Just dug through all my points and they're all top drilled. Oh, I like the top drilled. I prefer top drilled. Oh, okay, cool. So we got some votes for the top drilled. I know top drilled is the more popular one. I personally like the center drilled. The store, the Bead World I recommended, sells both of them. That's where I got both of these. So if you guys want to check them out. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy day to come and hang out with me. I will keep you guys posted on when my next live session will be. Most of the events that we're doing take place super early in the morning. That's why I might have to postpone or do live sessions on a different day for the next couple of weeks. So I'll put like a little quiz. I'll put a little quiz in my stories and I'll see like what an alternative day would be for you guys. Like maybe I should do Sunday evenings. Maybe I can do Saturday evenings. Most of the events are during the day, so in the evenings I would be available. So I'll survey you guys. I'll see what you guys would prefer. But we'll definitely go back to the normal Sunday schedule after Christmas. Like once all the craziness of the holidays has passed, we can go back to normal. So I'll survey you guys in my stories and see what you guys would like. But anyways, you guys, thank you so much for coming out today. This was so much fun. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys were inspired by today's creations. And I just hope you guys have a wonderful Halloween. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. Whatever you guys are doing, I hope you brings you happiness, peace, and tranquility for today. So with that being said, you guys, that's all. I'm going to head on out. Please follow my stories for some Halloween creations or energy-inspired creations tonight. We'll see what I come up with, but follow my stories for more. Otherwise, you guys have a wonderful day. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, and thank you again. Goodbye, pretty people.